another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great. All the time. God is great. Let's not waste no more time. Let's get right to it. So, well, first of all, usually I have a Dallas Cowboys jersey back there, but since it is Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell, I think it would be appropriate if classic NBA jerseys were back there while I'm shooting classic NBA talk. Okay, so that's that. Let's get into it. So I believe that the 2007 Miami Heat are the worst team defending their title. Okay, they're the worst team defending their title. Okay, and I say that in all seriousness because the rivalry between the Heat and the Bulls in the early part of the new millennium was nowhere near Bulls Heat in the late 90s. Okay, it was nowhere near Bulls Heat in the 90s, but the rivalry renewed in the 2006 playoffs when they met in the first round. Bulls and Heat did, and the Heat ended up winning that series in 6 games. But the Heat went on to win the title, and so they played the Chicago Bulls on opening night. Right? Okay. So they played the Chicago Bulls opening night. That was the ring ceremony where they accepted their rings. And for those of you who may not remember what had happened, I remember what had happened. I remember what had happened the night they got their rings. Chicago went out and kicked their ass, 108 to 66. And in case you didn't hear me, let me say it again. Chicago went out and kicked their ass on opening night, 108 to 66. They kicked the Heat's ass by 42 points. Okay. And so Pat Riley said after the game, "Well, welcome back to reality." That's what Pat Riley said. That's what Pat Riley said. Well, guys, welcome back to reality. Okay. And so the reality was the Miami Heat were the worst team defending champions the next season. Okay. Not only did they lose 108-66 to the Bulls on opening night, that was 3 of the 4 games that the Bulls took from the Miami Heat during the 2007 season. Okay. So the Bulls took 3 out of 4 from the Heat in the regular season. Then, in the playoffs, Miami finished 44-38. Guess who they played in the first round of the playoffs? The Bulls. And guess what the Bulls did? Kicked their asses in 4 games, man. Swept them. Sorry for cursing. I'm trying to cut down on my cursing. Seriously, I am. But, yeah, 2007 Miami Heat, the worst team to ever repeat. The worst defending champions, the worst team defending their title ever. Not only to get crushed by 444 on opening night by Chicago, then they turned around and get swept by Chicago in the playoffs. Yeah. And then you saw what happened after that. In 2008, Heat went, 15-67 in 2008? They went 15-67 in 2008? Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I saw all the his story. I came across his story. Dennis Rodman was acquired by the Bulls in training camp shortly before the 95-96 season started. Okay. So, but Dennis Rodman was not was not on the Bulls' top priority of free agent acquisitions that they wanted. They originally Michael Jordan originally recruited Jayson Williams, New Jersey Nets Jayson Williams, okay? He tried to recruit Jayson Williams to the Chicago Bulls in the summer of 1995, okay? And so Jayson Williams recalls that Jordan said, MJ told me, all you need to do is rebound and I'll get you 2 to 3 rings. That's what Michael told Jayson Williams, okay? Considering the fact that Jayson Williams had only averaged 4.3 points per game and 3.8 rebounds per game during his short career up until that point, Jayson Williams was kind of seen as foul prone, lazy, not real committed to the game. As a matter of fact, I have his basketball card for 1994-95 Skybox, okay? And Skybox did, and for the 1993-94 cards, 1994-95 cards, Skybox actually had real scouting reports on the players on those basketball cards. And one of the things that popped up on Jayson Williams' basketball card in his scouting report said, foul prone, hasn't demonstrated real commitment to a game. Well, 4.3 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game. Doesn't it sound like a player who is really committed? Then all of a sudden, Jayson Williams did get committed because he was an all-star by the 1998 season, by the time the 1998 season rolled around. Okay. So, Michael tried to recruit Jayson Williams. In the end, they ended up acquiring Dennis Rodman. There was even talk that Phil Jackson wanted even Derek Coleman alongside Jordan and Pippen. Okay. But in the end, Rodman was the best choice. And Rodman got them over the top. Really critical. Got them over the top for the second 3-peat. Okay. So, also this. When Michael Jordan retired in 1993, and Michael Jordan said this. Michael said when he stepped away the first time, Scottie was exposed to a lot of stuff that he had to deal with. Okay. And he didn't have a shield. Right? So, everyone remembers the 94 playoff game versus New York where he refused to go. Oh, man. Everybody remembers that. And I did not even know this up until a few years ago. Scottie actually had a gun charge against him in the 1993-94 season. I didn't even know that. Scottie Pippen had a gun charge. I was like, oh, really? I did not know that. No, I was only around 10 years old in 1994, but I did not know that Scottie Pippen had a gun charge. So that was surprising. So I just mentioned that Scottie didn't have a shield, and he was exposed to a lot of stuff that Michael had to deal with. Okay. So they were playing in the Spurs. So they were playing the Spurs at home in 1995 during the 94-95 regular season. They're playing the Spurs at home. Okay. And so they're coming down court. Luke Longley and Dennis Rodman kind of mix it up. Okay. This is when Dennis Rodman was playing for the Spurs. He and Luke Longley got involved. And Scottie Pippen wanted to know why a foul call wasn't put on Dennis Rodman for mixing it up with Luke Longley. Okay. So, Scottie asked Joey Crawford for an explanation about the non-call. Okay. And Joey Crawford has a real quick whistle. Okay. And he quickly hit Scottie with two T's. Okay. He hit Scottie with one. Scottie got pissed. Then he hit Scottie with a second technical foul. Then after the second technical foul, this is what happened. Take a look at what had happened next.
12th in field goal percentage. I guess he's doing something right.
He's doing something right. Not listening to us.
Right.
Luke Longley's checked in for the Bulls. Joey Crawford blows the whistle, and we've got a technical foul going to be called. Let's see who it's going to be on. Is it on Pippen?
Scottie better be careful with Joey Crawford. He'll get thrown out. Joey's got a quick fuse.
And Luke Longley tries to stop it. Now Pippen, and there he goes. Pippen is gone.
That's a bad play.
One thing Scottie Pippen does not need to do, considering the circumstances the last few weeks. And Phil Jackson comes over to calm him down.
Joey's not a guy that you can do that with. There's some officials that will give you some room. Joey Crawford will not take that. That's 2 games now that Scottie's been ejected this year. He was ejected against the Clippers. They lost that game. Scottie needs to get to the locker room right now. It will serve him no purpose other than to get himself in further trouble by saying something else. Get to the locker room. I know he's frustrated.
He throws a chair. My goodness gracious. Oh my. You don't need this in the league.
You got to get him. You got to get him in the locker room right now. If it takes security or whatever, somebody get him into the locker room. This is a lot of frustration you're seeing come out on Scottie Pippen right now is what's happening. You're seeing him, just the feeling Scottie is irate. That's the most angry I've ever seen Scottie, and I've been around him a lot of times. Scottie was upset because about 3 plays prior, he had pump fake Chuck Person in the air. There had been contact, no call. So he's really out of the play here. And he said something to Joey Crawford. That's from 2 possessions before. But when he really got himself in trouble was right here. You've got to get away from Joey Crawford. Team tries to get him away, and once you go back and storm like that, you've got to be thrown. And as I said before, Joey's not a guy that you do that to. He's not going to give you that kind of freedom. Frustration of not getting the call when he was playing against Chuck Person. He pump faked Chuck in the air, and he got bumped right there. Took the shot and thought he was going to go to the free throw line, so he's a little bit frustrated there. He got no call. Now Rodman's in the lane, and he's yelling at Joey Crawford, 3 seconds in the lane. And Joey Crawford does not want to hear it. He tees him up. So now Scottie continues to talk to him. And once he does this right here, once he really gets angry, you're going to see him for whatever was said. Right here, he got angry. And now Scottie goes berserk. And that's when he gets thrown out of the game. And again, Joey Crawford's not a guy that you're going to be able to talk to like that, nor any of these officials to show them up. And then Scottie then tops it off by picking up a chair and throwing it out onto the floor. So I firmly believe that a lot of this is the anger and frustration building up in Scottie Pippen on what's going on with his team.
Okay, so Scottie Pippen throws the chair. Not only did Scottie Pippen throw a chair, he also kicked the chair on his way out. The Bulls eventually lost that game, by the way, by only a few points. But I think the fact that Scottie Pippen was throwing the chair, I think it showed how much he needed MJ back. I think it showed how much influence Michael had on him. Because if Michael was there, it's more likely that Scottie Pippen would not have thrown a chair. It's likely that Jordan would have got to him after Joey Crawford hit him with 1T. Michael Jordan would have got to him and said, hey, that's enough, man. That's enough. But like I said, Michael said when he retired the first time, Scottie was exposed to a lot of stuff he had to deal with, and he didn't have a shield. And I guess Scottie had no shield. yeah, Scottie had the whole shield, and when you have the whole shield, that's kind of what happens. You throw old chairs, you kick chairs, you pick up technical fouls, get thrown out of the game because that one steady influence isn't there. Okay. Also, just a little, just to finish up, just a little bit of something on Joey Crawford. Okay, he was not liked by Scottie Pippen, and he was not liked by any players, to be honest. Joey Crawford said, "My problem was my anger." Okay. So in other words, Joey Crawford was saying there were times where I didn't like myself. Okay. And he would actually see the way he behaved. He would watch tape of the game he reffed. He would watch tape of the game that he reffed. And he would see how he would behave. And he would just put his hands in his head like, oh, can't believe I behaved that way. I can't believe I behaved that way. Okay. And so I guess you could say Joey Crawford kind of didn't like himself. Apparently he didn't like Flip Saunders because he yelled at Flip Saunders. Apparently he didn't like Don Nelson because he threw out Don Nelson for folding his arms. And then there's Tim Duncan. We all remember Tim Duncan, right? He threw out Tim Duncan for laughing, and David Stern brought the hammer down on Joey Crawford. We all remember that. Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, there were times that Joey Crawford didn't like himself. Interesting to think about now. Anyway, that's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace out. God bless. Jesus Christ is Lord. Amen.